Good evening. Just a couple of days before, in fact it's Thursday before Easter 2009. Put in a lot of time yesterday and again today pulling out sweet pea vines to clear out away from some rose bushes. Just getting ready to leave. I'll be heading to Kansas a couple of days after Easter. Memory fails me back there at HARDTNER a little bit as to just what the deal was that brought Roy Browning Jr. on board, but I think it was because Mrs. Lamb turned up pregnant and asked to be relieved of her teaching duties. And I believe that has to be correct because Donna tells me she very well remembers seeing Mrs. Lamb dressed in beautiful maternity clothes and wearing them that first year we were there. And then the second year their baby had arrived and our Randy was on the way. And Kay Lamb, bless her heart, loaned those beautiful clothes to Donna to wear. She was better dressed maternity style during the time expecting Randy, wearing the Kay's beautiful clothes than at any other pregnancy. Beautiful, beautiful clothes. Well, Roy Browning joined us. Don't know how he happened to be available. I suppose maybe he just gotten out of some Army training, although I'd spaced that out completely. I didn't know, in my consciousness over the years, I didn't remember at all that he was Lieutenant Roy Browning, chaplain. He was the kind of fellow that I'm not surprised he was a chaplain. Boy, I'd be real happy in the service to have a man of his quality as my chaplain, I'll tell you right now. Everybody. I liked him. The staff liked him. The kids liked him. The community loved him. And his wife, good lady. I mean, they were a real addition to the school and to the community. I suppose somebody think I'd be a little jealous of that. I should say not. I was as happy as a clam to have a guy like that on board. Talk about somebody that helps make your school good. That kind of a man has an impact on just about everything. He was always happy, always positive, always standing for the right things in the right way. Well, time goes by, we get pretty well acquainted, we play some cards together, have lots of fun, just nice, fun people. A little later I got to tell a story about a card game that involves his wife, but that's another story, we'll save that till later. But remember, I wanted, after all that advice down at Peabody about being sure your fiscal records are in order and audited professionally. Well, I couldn't get the board to go with the professional audit, but they were going to be audited by the group that audited books, I guess, for years for that school district. And I wanted them right, to the penny. I went over and over them, couldn't get them to balance. Well, Roy Browning the third. Now think about that. In the dedication page, the kids referred to him as Roy Browning the second. When you're Roy Browning the third, you're not Roy Browning Jr. Oh no, that is an additional significance of that name. Roy Browning's father was Roy Browning the second. That's a name, a proud name, a name that's carried on. We've not kept track over the years. I wonder if they had a son, and I wonder if there was a Roy Browning the fourth. I guess I ought to use the internet and see if I can find out, but trying to be pretty dedicated to getting these stories told while the good Lord gives me life to do it. So I don't know if we'll get around to that or not. Well, he volunteered. I didn't ask him. But he knew I was sweating and complaining about I couldn't get the dadgum books to balance, and he volunteered to come to the house at night and work on them with me. We ran at him machine tape till you could have wrapped the house at least once around with it. Found, both earlier before I got him involved and afterwards, found a time or two where we double paid somebody, Got our money back from those people. Don't think they were crooked. I think maybe they just, like the rest of us, don't watch things too carefully. But we couldn't get those books to balance. And as you recall from an earlier story, that the board said, oh, yes, they balanced. You just didn't notice that there was a $3.50 check out outstanding from a previous year. Ouch. How awful to put all that work in when we were balanced all the time. Excuse me. But imagine having a colleague, having a friend, having a staff member that would work that hard to help you get what you wanted in the way of a balanced set of books.